Hello and welcome to BrickVault. Today's video is the custom LEGO MTT, or Multi-Troop Transport, a UCCS Ultimate Custom Collector Series minifigure scale model from the builder Caleb Ricks. The big brown beast brings a bothersome batch of bumbling battle droids to brawl. That's right, 48 alloy boys can destroy, all for the ploy of the Viceroy. All the rhyming aside, there is a complex array of angles that marry up well together on the outside, and it's got an impressive transformation and rack feature on the inside for bringing the battle droids out. I want to show you all the intricacies of the model features in this video, but before I jump in, let me first just say that if you want to build this for yourself, the instructions can be found at brickvault.toys. With an instructions purchase comes a PDF guide for building, plus a digital parts list for ordering your pieces online. All of our models are hand tested for durability. Instructions are tested to make sure the steps can be followed with clarity, and the parts of the creation are chosen with availability in mind. If you buy instructions from us, you will be able to build this model in real life. It's also an excellent way to help support us here at the channel and the very talented designers that we work with, like Caleb Ricks, who has also created the minifig scale U-Wing Starfighter. Now, back to the MTT. Like many vehicles produced for the Trade Federation, it came from the Bactoid armor work, and in short, this means it has quite a lot of curves and subtle intersections around the body. From afar, and somewhat at a glance, the multi-troop transport has a boxiness to it, but you don't need to zoom in much to see just how intricate and precise the brick-built brown panel shapes need to be in order for them to line up like this. There are hardly any seams as you pan across the body of the build, and depending on what types of shapes Caleb needed to create for the model, you can see he pretty freely switches between assemblies that are all plates and tiles. There's also assemblies for bricks and slopes built on their sides, or single assemblies that use a combination of both techniques together. Each of the angular chunks are double mixel connected on the inside with a lot of reinforcement, so the model doesn't have any annoying weak spots if you touch the outside. And of course, coupled with a crazy strong Technic frame, this model is as heavy as it looks. And with that, let me just jump straight into the functions. When it comes to picking up this model, you can easily remove the top section here, and inside there is a sizable grip spot that is integrated with the frame, so it's really strong. From here you can lift the model easily, and usually stabilize it with another hand underneath at the bottom. It is a big model, built solid. The MTT has got some wheels on the bottom for rolling around, and then going back to the top, there is another area that can come off as well. It reveals the control room. Inside is space for 5 droids to control the transport, 2 facing forward, a console on either side, and 1 large console facing in the back. I presume the 2 forward guys control the driving and cannons, while the other guys are on communication and operating the droid rack. So now let's get into what I consider the star of the show. The droid rack is a serious engineering feat in LEGO bricks. A lot of the activation is hidden actually in plain sight, which is fun. When you turn the knob on the right-hand side, this pushes the rack forward. The first moment right here, when the circular cover raises, the bottom breech drops out, and then there is a wedged lift arm under the circular hatch that catches the top rack as it slides forward. This keeps it raised up out of the way as the rest of the rack comes out. When fully extended, it hits a solid internal wall. And now once it's in this position, the lower little foot on the bottom of the rack can be pulled down. This isn't a stability function. It mostly just gives you a good landing point for lowering the rack down. And that's where the mirrored knob on the left-hand side of the MTT can be engaged, and this lowers the whole structure. Once the foot touches the ground, it's ready for the final stage. The center of the rack has a handle that tilts up straight, and then you can push down with just a little pressure and break the 3 grips that lock at the top. Now the droids all can fold down together in unison, hovering just above the ground. From here, you can take each droid off and set them up in a little platoon, but that takes quite a while, and it's also very precise to get all the droids back in place so their legs and arms are folded correctly. So I like to treat the droids as part of the model, and frankly, I think they look a little bit better when they're kept in the racks anyways. It is a super cool looking function and easily the most complex bit of Lego transforming I've ever done. Folding back up is essentially the same thing. There are a few things I like to make sure to do, like locking those top grip points and pressing them a little bit extra so they stay in place. It's good to get all these little things just right so nothing catches. The rack also gets cranked back up as high as it goes. Fold that foot in and the whole thing slides back. So once again, those droids got to be folded in just right. There are guide rails that help slot everything into place as it all comes back into the model, but I usually ease it in pretty slow to make sure nothing catches. This is a really smart design. There's some fun fail safes here. Like once the rack starts to go back in, the knob on the left that controls the height automatically disengages. So if you or someone else turns this knob while the droids are still inside, they don't all go up and down and become misaligned. Caleb really thought this one through. It is an ambitious design, and it took a lot of testing to get just right, but it absolutely makes it for me as a final piece. So there it is, the MTT. I know a lot of you guys were asking for this model for quite a while. It is a super solid addition to the Trade Federation forces. And of course, let me know what you guys think about this build in the comments below. Like always, what are some suggestions for new builds you'd like to see in the studio for the future? If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, or share. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.